Ay, 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 ay.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline.
I'm Jennifer.
Eliana Connie, hi everybody.
I'm Keisha.
Robin.
And I am Stevette.
And this is
Our Point of View.
Women's I love it.
We
I love
always
it.
love a good takeover.
Yes.
Not a takeover without
Well, welcome to another episode of Our Point of View. As you can see, it's Ladies' Day, and we're taking over Our Point of View. And we're going to talk about things that ladies want to talk about.
Okay.
Yes.
What's going on here in Atlanta?
What?
Right.
What's not going
I
on
was
here
going to
in
say, what's
Atlanta?
going on? Not only in Atlanta, all
Everywhere.
over. It's happening everywhere, not just in Atlanta.
So we're
The
talking
dating
about
game.
dating. We're talking about dating or the
drought.
lack thereof.
Oh my
The lack
gosh.
thereof. Yeah. So how many are married? Okay, so you guys are going to be giving advice.
We need all
Y'all might not want my advice, but go ahead, boo-boo. Well, go ahead. But Connie's been married now for like 30-something years.
Yeah,
Almost.
Yes.
How you doing? How's you doing?
28 years to be
Ooh,
exact.
what is- Now we gotta round it up.
Yeah.
Right.
28. But listen, it feel like 30, huh?
That's right.
But it's all good. Yes, we are
Give
still
us the
standing.
secrets to
Praise God.
success.
Yes,
I
give
will
us the
share
sauce.
some of my experiences with
Those
you all
nuggets.
ladies
Feel
in the
that
studio and you all. And we'll just see how this goes.
see
So
how it goes.
who's going to start?
So how is everybody doing? Everybody's ready?
Yes.
Talk about,
Yes.
talk about what's going on in Atlanta, what's not going on in Atlanta as far as the dating scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been single for 2 years and it's been rough. Like,
She said it's been rough.
real
Well,
rough.
2 years is that not a long time to be
It's a
single.
long time when you start creeping up in age.
See,
So you
that's
ready?
another thing too. The differences between dating when you're younger and dating when you're older.
Right.
Mm.
Is it harder to date when you get older?
It's harder today when you get older because your standards are higher. When
Yes.
you're
That
young,
makes
you're
a
looking
lot of
at
sense.
who's cute, who
Who's gonna make a pretty baby?
Right.
There you go.
who's
Who's
got
gonna make a
nice
nice
car to
husband?
pick you up in.
I know.
And when you got your own
nice
when you got your
car
own
and
car, your own
business,
house, your
you're
own
like-
money, it's like,
Right.
That ain't
And
really
then
what I
the
need you
looks
for.
don't even matter anymore. After a while, you're like, just come on.
see, I ain't there
Wait a
yet.
minute
I ain't there yet.
I'm not there yet. Looks still matter.
It still matter, but what your 401k look like?
Yeah, right.
That's what matters.
There you go.
That's
That's
what
the
matters.
question.
That's you have an IRA.
You know what an IRA is?
Yes.
He said,
That's
"What's love
hilarious.
got to do with
Yeah,
it?" Huh?
okay.
But why would you? Why do you say 2 years? I said 2 years isn't a long time. You said it is a long time. Why do you feel like it's a long time?
Being a woman who still wants to get married and have kids, the opportunities lessen as you get older. And, of course, there are alternatives. You can freeze eggs or whatnot. But you want to marry someone, have that time with them, and grow and then have a family. I'm 38 years old. The window is getting shorter and
So
shorter.
you don't have
for me.
any children?
I don't have any children.
She's single with no children, ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
I'm
Not like
sorry.
me. No, ladies and gentlemen, she's telling everybody.
No,
She's
I
telling
was
everybody.
just saying.
Oh, okay.
She's single with no. I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, she's single with no children.
No
In
drama.
2018.
No drama.
Right.
That's exceptional in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
So we shout you out, boo boo. That's wonderful. No, that's a blessing. But
So what do you think
But I
your
do
problems
get it.
were?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think is a reason why you're not dating?
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, I'm dating. It's just
Oh,
Or not
not married.
successfully.
It's just the quality that's out
yes.
here.
Okay.
Like I said, as you get older, your standards change. You start looking for a difference. I'm looking for the man that can elevate and enhance me. I know I can elevate and enhance you. What do you bring to the table to enhance me and take my lifestyle to the next level? And we can come together and really build something. I'm not meeting that. I'm meeting more so men that I'm teaching. And that's not where I want to be.
You don't want to be a cougar.
No, I don't. And it ain't even men that's younger than me
Age,
necessarily.
she's
It's
saying
my
right at her
mentality.
age.
Yeah, it's guys that are my age that don't have it together. I'm telling them about it. I'm a big component and advocate of entrepreneurship and investing and having your ducks in a row. And I'm not meeting those caliber of men. And when I do, they know that they're, the hot commodity, so they're not ready to settle down.
Okay.
So it's
So would that be a
frustrating.
problem because of us black women or women in general just being successful? Or are men intimidated by that?
I wouldn't even say men are intimidated by that necessarily. They just don't have their stuff together, so they know they can't step to you when they don't have it together. I'm not going to even call it an intimidation thing. It's just hey, I can't afford her, or I'm not on her level, so I'm not going to even go there.
That sounds like intimidation, though.
I don't necessarily call it that, but I'm just going to say they're not ready.
You're not
And
ready.
the crazy thing is, just piggybacking off of what she says, so then you are a successful woman, and then you see successful men. They don't say anything to you. But then you in Publix, and the brother that you would never look at, he shoot his shot like he
day.
is together. And you're like, it's on my forehead that made you think that. Me, I'm a reflective person, so I'm like, what energy did I just put out there?
I'm with you. I'm
You know, I'm like, what the hell just happened? What just happened to me? You know?
Right.
Because I'm just, I just not internalize in a negative way, but I have to just, reflect within and just be like, okay, sis, what did you put out there? Are you putting out desperation pheromones? Like, what had happened? So
Now, would that
What
be
happened?
because of the places that you are, where where these men are? Would it
in
be?
Publix is high enough.
You need to go to Whole Foods.
Right. Apparently, I need
If
to go
he's
to
shopping in
Trader
Publix, he got a good job.
Right.
Oh
Because he's shopping in Walmart.
Piggly Wiggly.
You gotta be
Don't go
on
to Piggly
salary
Wiggly.
to shop at Publix.
Yeah.
I have to say, now you might be judging the book by its cover right now because you never know. If he in public shopping, he might be able to have, he got bills he paying, going to Publix to shop. He ain't running to Walmart and then he ain't going to the store with a full EBT card. Not to say nothing wrong with an
full
EBT
EBT
card, but I'm just saying, you never know. He may be just getting off of work or he may not look at the part.
And
so
I'm
you
not
gotta be
even
careful.
saying, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the conversation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Lines.
So, because I'm new to Atlanta. So I was really expecting something different. And it
Why?
Sorry.
What kind of difference?
You should have did your research before you came to
Apparently.
Atlanta.
I mean, I'm so grateful to be here. It's been amazing, just as far as everything else in life. But I just thought like I would be booed up by now.
Sorry.
So
It's just a boo,
So-
no up.
So tell us about some of these conversations that you're getting, because I'm curious.
Okay.
What's the approach?
So like I'm trying to think of. Okay, I've met some really nice people, but in particular when I said the grocery store. So I did meet a gentleman, and I tried to, just be open. And, I'm like, okay, I gave him my business card. I give him the business card, and he calls, and he was like, you could call me every now and then. I said, listen, you stepped to me. There was something about me that intrigued you. So now you have to allow me to become intrigued, because I didn't come at you. Because whatever it was that you saw made you be like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I didn't look at you and hey, and start a conversation because I was intrigued.
Okay, I have a question. If you saw somebody that was intrigued, would you approach them as that gentleman approached you?
No.
You would just look.
know.
As women,
I
do we
don't
do
know.
that?
No.
No, we
Sometimes,
don't. I will try. Now
I be
I
like,
will
ooh,
say
make
I
eye
will
contact.
No, I have got because I have conversations like this with people. So I try to put myself in position if I'm at a networking event or whatever, and I see something that I like. I try to position myself around there so that we can get to that. And I may try to shoot my shot. I don't know. I ain't never seen nothing that I like that much.
I'm the opposite. I would never approach a guy that I'm attracted to. If I'm inviting you by smiling and giving you eye contact and you don't come over, then you're not interested.
That shows
Right.
that you're approachable when you're doing it.
Definitely.
I went to the mall.
You open yourself up to be approachable. I'm trying to cut you off.
I went to a mall a few days ago, well, a week or so ago, with a friend of mine, and there was this gentleman, absolutely gorgeous eyes, gorgeous smile, everything. Boy, he was absolutely gorgeous, and I'm like, I'm looking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, okay. put my tongue back in my mouth. So he had on a uniform. He worked at the post office there at the mall. Okay. And so we were in the food court sitting and everything. I was like, okay. So I'm like, I went in the bathroom and everything, did what I had to do, came back out. And he had brought his food and he came back out and he went back in. I'm like, I need some postage stamps. So
Going on in there.
I went on Oh, but the funny thing is, before I went in there, he was like at the front door and he was fixing all the boxes and the decorations and everything, doing everything. So I came in, he's scattered, went right to the counter. Excuse me, and the woman was standing up sitting on the counter or by the counter. And she was writing, doing something. He said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you do that over there?" And I was in line. He said, "Ma'am, come here."
Okay.
I was like, "Okay," and that's as far as it went.
Listen.
And I'm like, "I knew stepdaddy."
That was your opportunity to slide him your point of view card.
I know, but you don't think about those things until after the fact. Because when I left out of there, I'm like, I could have said, his eye. I could have said, "Sir, your smile is so pretty," or "Your eyes are so pretty," or here's my card, or something.
Right.
I didn't say anything.
We don't say pretty to guys. We say your eyes are so
handsome.
His eyes were gorgeous. His eyes were
dreamy.
She still see him.
Well, you know where he works.
I know. So
And did you say
when I need
from
to
the
mail
married
my
ladies, y'all
cards,
think she should have did more? She should have put it out there more. Been
Yeah,
more.
I think it's totally fine.
but I was looking at the hand. There was no ring on the finger, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
But I think for women to show a man that she's interested or something, I think it's totally fine now. I think that the rules of the game have changed.
Like, how do you do
I think the rules of the game have changed. Okay, so we're going to talk about how the rules of the game change when we come right back, okay? We're coming back to talk about how the rules of the game change. Right. We'll be right back.
The human body. We're compelled to explore the unknown, to find something more. It's what we find in the water, with more resistance, but not the impact of gravity. And boom. It's a whole new kind of workout. It's running, weights, resistance, all of it, but better. You want something more? You have to be in the water. There's Fit, and there's Speedo Fit.
Ain't just gonna break you, dog. I'll break your heart. Class is dismissed. Take this diss in the park.
Oh, give it up for my man Grizzle. Up next, we got my boy Boogie. We got
Don't go breaking my heart. I could.
Whoa, stop right there.
What?
Eat a Snicker. You always lose your edge when you're hungry. Better.
Better. Yo, I said, give me the track.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers.
And we're back. Welcome back. So we're talking about how the rules of the dating game has changed. And I think that the game has changed, especially like in the last 10 years, I would say. I don't think it's anything wrong with a woman sees something that she like. Why not go and approach? You don't have to, throw yourself at the man, but you say something nice, something like, I just wanted to let you know you are dressed so sharp today, and I just needed to compliment you on that. And then the conversation might go,
or could you say something like, wait a minute, your wife is such a lucky person. To find out if they're married or not.
That is so corny. Don't do
No. Y'all know.
You just be straight up
let me just say,
married.
Because I know men say that to me all the time.
Right.
Your husband is your husband is blessed.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I get that
So
a
women
lot.
can say that?
Why not?
Would you say?
Or I would just be like, you dressed so nice today. Did your wife dress you? Or you dressed yourself? I dress
that's
me.
a player. That's a player.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Did your wife see you before you left?
Yeah.
Something got to find out if there's a wife in there.
But you just put it out there, and then that again, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's married because
Right.
a lot of men don't wear wedding bands anymore,
Right.
and even if they do, what that mean to them? I think it means something to women, but for the most part, men is really there. And I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying how even if a man is married, if a woman will give him the opportunity to just flirt, he will take it. You know what I mean? He'll just do it just to make him feel good or to make you feel good, even though he knows he's married and may not be able to go nowhere. But once we as women give them the sign that they are willing, that you can hunt me, you can play with me a little bit, they're gonna go ahead and just see how far they can go.
I
What
want to
about online
piggyback off
dating?
of that.
Okay, go ahead.
And speaking of that, because most of the time here in Atlanta, what I have found is that if you ask a man if he's married, he's going to tell you yes or no. Whether you're going to deal with him, that's your choice and your decision. But I do believe they are very upward and onwards because a lot of times they'll just say, you say, you're married, yeah, I'm married, but then they'll give you maybe a little light excuse, but at the end of the day, they married. So if you choose to still deal with that person, that's your choice and decision.
And I
So
think
it
that's
depends
a
on what
lot
you're
of
getting
the
into it.
problem in Atlanta.
Yeah,
a
it
lot
is.
of women are okay with that decision. You're married, okay, you still willing to play.
Right.
That's the problem.
And I wonder if that's because it's such as what we see as a shortage of men because of the high, I guess what say, homosexual rate that we have here. A lot of women are afraid to date men, not knowing what their lifestyles are. Because some of them, some people dipping, they be on both sides of the fence. So you really have to be careful. So you got to be straight up and honest. That's I'm 100. I ain't asking no questions. I don't know if I got too old for it or whatever. Sometimes I feel like my mother in my approach sometimes because she just says whatever comes out her mouth without filter. But I try to bring that under control. But in the same token, I do ask, I just straight up, you married? You live with a woman, this way I know what I'm dealing with.
Baby mama. Question.
Ask the question.
How many years do you have?
You're in a relationship.
Right. All of these things that you have to go through initially, and then, okay, so you decide to engage, and then you feel like you got to go and ask again because it's just like there's a disconnect, like, okay, something ain't right. He can only talk to me, between these hours and these hours.
We got to do our homework.
Yeah.
Women, you really have to do your homework.
And even in that, you still, you still, the opportunity is still there that something else could be happening. Because, again, ladies, men like women, okay, and they hunt. And so if they continue to hunt and you be the prey and they prey on you and you go in for it,
okay, and I need to reverse that. Because women like men. And we hunt. And our hunt starts a little earlier than men's hunt. As a matter of fact, I watched my granddaughter and my grandson, just little girls, and I'm saying to myself, Jesus, I ain't say nothing about my grandson. I just told my daughter we're going to have to watch her. As a little girl, just as a young girl growing up, because girls are faster, they're growner, they're more mature, their thought process is different. So at that time, we have to get them at that time, even in dealing with men at that time, especially if they don't have fathers that are in their lives and they don't know how to be treated like a man should treat a young lady or a man. So they're just going out there, they're seeing whatever. So we have to even train our girls up in the same manner of just to know what you want. Look forward. Just don't see, because especially nowadays, the boys with the pants hanging down and sagging, and they walk around holding like this and walking with the legs wide. Well, once I say to myself, Jesus, what the heck is that? I mean, if I try to run from you, you can't catch me. Somebody try to chase us, we're going to get hurt because you can't run. You ain't going nowhere.
These younger women need to step their game up, their standards up with these guys.
But how do we do that? How do we impart that in
Women want to be in a relationship, so they'll do whatever they can to be in a relationship.
I know we've all
There's no
seen
standards.
The women proposing to the men.
Oh,
I tell you, it'd be a cold day in hell.
That's a man's job. Don't take that from him.
Some stuff is still traditional.
All the way
I think,
over
I agree. I think some things some things have to
still
change, but some things should still remain the same. I don't
exactly.
I think that a man should ask a woman to marry him. I just think that that's appropriate. You know what I mean? I don't
We
think
try
that.
to take
But I
everything
think
from
that
them.
right. I think that that's something that we should leave up to them.
Yeah.
I think that the other thing is that as women, we have to really be careful with our emotions, because a lot of times we can get caught up in a relationship with somebody and the feeling is not mutual, and so then we lose our heart, and the story is true. that, you know, there are a lot of times there are soul ties, so that when you have these different relationships and then they become physical, even in your future, in your latter years, you still find yourself attracted to that individual based on the fact that you were connected sexually, you know, or intimately. And so a lot of times we have to be very, very careful who we give ourselves to. So, you know, back in the day, they used to tell us, you know, that what we have between our legs is jewels. I think that I still would tell, I don't have any daughters, but I tell my nieces that, my spiritual daughters, everybody, your stuff is still precious, baby. You don't just want to give it over to some brother because he talking right, he look right, he got the right conversation. No, we're not going to go there. You know, you have to let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. I just did a talk show with
Listen.
the students at South Carolina State. I had a live with the students at South Carolina State, the young women, and we were talking about that online, how, you know, I wanted to explain it, and the brothers too, because you have some brothers that are seriously out there trying to find the right chick before they, you know what I mean? So I told the brothers, listen, they were talking about in dating, do you think oral sex is okay in oral sex? And I said, let me tell y'all something. Who wants somebody tongue all up in them, you know what I mean, that been in all these other women? And I said, brothers, the same thing. You want somebody mouth all over you? Just because you find you just going to let yourself be passed around like that? No, sir, no, ma'am. Y'all need to be more careful with that, because these young people done got into the point where, oh, well, oral sex ain't sex. It's still sex, and it's nasty if you just doing it all over the place with anybody. Stop it. Dating, no. Okay, I'm sorry.
No apologies necessary. No apologies necessary.
A young woman's, younger. I ain't saying.
What you trying to say, bro?
I had to clean that up. She got less season.
Way less season.
She's salt free. I'm like, Mrs. Dash over here. You're a complete season. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, boo.
Go ahead.
You know, from a young woman's perspective, you know, dating and then into marriage, like give us some tips, some
on dating into marriage.
I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you guys, and this is the reason why I was saying you probably won't like my perspective on things. And I'm gonna take it to a spiritual level. So I rededicated my life in 2006. Prior to that, you know, I was in relationships and was open to having a physical relationship and things like that. But once I rededicated my life, I made a commitment to God and to myself. I said, I'm not going to be intimate with anyone else until I get married. And everybody, you know, that's not something that everybody is going to do, and I get that. So this is, like I said, my perspective. So this is 2006. Fast forward to 2008, to the end of 2008. My mom and my sister, they come home one day. I was still living at home with my mom. They come home one day and they're like, yeah, we met this really great guy, because my sister was in a Christmas play. We met this really great guy. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to tell you guys the story when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, so we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
You know, ABFF represents the very core of what has always sustained us as a people, community.
This is such a crucial space where we can see ourselves
and feel represented.
A film festival that said, you are enough. This is where I started, where Ryan Coogler started.
The first major festival to have my work online.
Thank you for celebrating our art.
I feel the love.
Me and you just singing on the train. Me and you listening to the rain. Me and you, we are the same. Me and you have all the fame we need. Indeed, you and me are we. Me and you singing in
welcome back to Our Point of View. Prior to the break, I was giving my perspective on dating in Atlanta, or actually as being a young married woman in Atlanta. And I was telling my story. I rededicated my life to Christ in 2006 and said that I was not going to be physically intimate with anyone until I got married. So in 2008, my mom and sister came home. They had gone to a Christmas, they were out at an event. My sister was in a Christmas play, and she had met one of the cast members, and they came home and they said, oh, this guy's really nice, really cool. Would you be interested in going out on a blind date? And at this point, I wasn't looking to date, wasn't looking to, get involved with anyone. So I said no. And so they kind of, pushed it a little bit and said, well, he's really nice, and he can sing, and he's handsome, and then they said, and he's a Christian, and so had to throw that in there. They knew that was like,
gotta be that.
It was all about that. So finally, I went ahead and I said, okay, that's fine. You guys go ahead and set it up, and we'll, I'll go ahead and go out. So on December 14th of 2008, we went to Red Lobster on Camp Creek Parkway. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. We went to the Red Lobster in Atlanta, Georgia, and I got there first. So I'm sitting on the chair, and this guy walks in the door, and he's kind of looking around, and there's a couple girls on one side, me on the other side. And he looks at me, he's like, Jennifer? And I said, yeah, that's me. And he's like, hey. So I go over to him, and I'm trying to shake his hand. And he's like, I don't do handshakes. I need a hug. So I'm like, oh, you're fresh. Oh. So I give him a hug. So fast forward, he and I, we basically became joined at the hip and established a really good friendship. And we did not actually become boyfriend and girlfriend with an official title until August of 2009. We hadn't kissed, hadn't done anything, and made things official in August of 2009. Our first kiss was on his birthday in September of that same year. And still, I was very adamant that there was not going to be a physical relationship.
Oh, wow.
Listen,
You gotta
when I
put
say
it
I was
on there.
serious about it, I
Yes,
made
you
a
had to
decision
be.
and I stuck
You had
to
to
it.
made up
And
mind
so,
for real.
exactly. And so, again, 2009, first kiss. So we continued dating, continued spending time together. We get engaged in 2010 and married in 2012. And that was the next time I had, I was physically intimate. And so I made that decision because that's what was best for me, and that's how I felt like I needed to approach dating life. I wasn't going to continue just being with anyone, doing anything and everything, because I knew that was not what God had for me. So my perspective on things is from more of a spiritual standpoint, where I felt like I needed to be doing the things that I knew God wanted me to be doing so that he would make things fall into place the way that they should. And that's what I feel like was, beneficial in me being able to get married. I was not looking for someone to date. I was not looking for a husband. He found me.
Okay.
With the help of your mama and your
With the
sister.
help of my mother and my sister.
It said he who finds a good thing. Yes, ma'am. That's what the word
Exactly.
says.
So that's my perspective on things, and that's why I was saying, some people may not like that because they feel like, oh, well, if I need some, if I want some, I'm gonna go get some. Well, do you?
Right.
But like I said, that's just.
And I think that's the thing that people have to do. You have to do what fits you.
Exactly.
What works for you.
Exactly.
But somebody now. And some people might get mad at me, but listen, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I have 5 sons. They're all grown and on their own, and my boys expect my position on a lot of things. My opinion is very respect. My opinion on a lot of things. So they ask me, about shacking, like living with a girl or whatever. Now me, licensed and ordained. But I told all my boys, I need y'all to live with the person first. Because I need y'all to know, first of all, the crazies, the crazies, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, all that kind of stuff. I feel like we have really been placed in a box when it comes to relationships. And I'm not advocating young people to shack or any people to shack. People gonna do what they want to do anyway. Right. But my thing is, I told them, for mommy, it's up to you, but it wouldn't matter to me either way. I wouldn't be mad at you if you did, and I'm not gonna be happy if you don't. I want you to do what's going to work for you. But what I do want you to find out is where that person is in relationship. You need to know how they clean. Are they clean? You need to know, is she a good housekeeper? You need to know how she takes care of herself. You know, all these kind of things that you really don't find out until you are actually physically in a home with the person. Can they cook? Do they pay the bills on time? You know, how do they run their household? Check out their family. You know, where does she come from? A whole lineage of things. I think that our young people need to know and research before they get married, because what is happening is the divorce rate is continuing to climb because everybody's telling them it's better to marry than to burn. That's what happened to me. I got married when I met my husband. 2 weeks in, I got married. You know, I met my husband 2 weeks later. My husband asked me to marry him. I know I was all that. Thank you, boo boo. 2 weeks later, he asked me to marry him. 6 months later, we got married. But it was because, not only because of the pressure of the church, but I felt like it was what I needed to do because of how I was taught. You know, going back to what Jim was saying, you know what I'm saying? Based even on my personal relationship with God and what I wanted, but as well as the pressure of, you know, always hearing, you know, you can't be saved and have sex. You know what I mean? It's better to marry than burn. You a preacher, you need to be married. So all of these different things kind of played into my getting married. Now, it's not the reason why I got married. I really got married so quick because my husband came with the ring, the roses, honey. He took care of me from day one. I was like, boom, you it, boo boo. You got it going on. You paying my bills. You fit the profile. You know? And so, but my thing is, but nobody, you know what I'm saying? I was 28 years old, so I was still young, you know, and nobody really sat us down and told us what we should look for when we're getting married. Nobody told us that these are the things you're going to make sure the man provides for you. Nobody told us that he might change. He may be this way when you marry him, but 6 months, 7 months, 10 years down the line, he could be a totally individual. Will you still stay committed in that relationship to that individual when those changes occur? So those are the kind of things I try to instill in my children, both my biological children and my spiritual children, not just to say I'm getting married for the sake of saying I'm getting married, but what is it that you're getting married to? Are you getting married to the facade of marriage because you want the house, you want the children, you want the relationship, but are you really going to stay committed to that relationship through the ups and the downs, the goods, the bads, the ins and the outs? Because the divorce rate today, it's like if he look at a woman wrong, or if she have the wrong conversation with a man, I want a divorce. But those aren't really the grounds. You understand what I'm saying? You got to go through the process to build a marriage of 28 years, 30 years. You understand? It wasn't easy. It was not easy at all, but are you willing to work? I was willing to work because I've been through hell and back in my marriage. And I'm celebrating 28 years of being married, but I had to deal with the side chick. I had to deal with the children coming from another relationship. You understand what I'm saying? But was I committed to the man, or was I committed to the relationship? I was committed to God and my commitment that I made to God. Then I was committed to my relationship and my marriage. But it's not always going to be that easy. But it's a fight. It's a fight.
Okay. I mean, this is a topic that we're going to discuss over and over and over again because more people need to know about it. More people need to know about it. But we'd like to thank you for joining us. Hit us up on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, all our social medias. And just remember, everything you heard and everything we said was our point of view. Bye-bye.
Hey.